All right, I'm recording. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our first Coach Basics. My name is Shannon Albright, and I'm going to be hosting the call tonight. I know Terry's going to be getting on a little late. I also have Nadine and Kara here. And I'm just very excited about this group. We have a lot of great people in it. I'm just very excited for you guys all to get started and become successful Beachbody coaches. I want to start off by sharing a little bit of Beachbody's history. If I can find what I'm looking for. Here we go. Just to explain a little bit about how the company got started, they were founded in 1998 by Carl Daikeler and John Congdon. I don't know why, but we tend to see Carl more than we do John. At least I do. And they are the creators of the nation's most popular fitness programs and weight loss solutions, just like P90X, Insanity, Insanity Max 30. There's tons of awesome programs. And what makes this company so awesome, well, one of the things that makes this company so awesome is that their products actually work and they're awesome. And they, wait a minute. I'm sorry, something just happened. Anyway, they have a lot of passion and they put a lot into the products that they create, and they actually test these products to make sure that they work and to put them out on the market. And Beachbody truly wants to help the obesity crisis in America. And they stand by their mission statement, which is their core purpose is to help people achieve their goals and to enjoy a healthy and fulfilling life. When you hear Carl speak, it's never about the bottom dollar. It's never, you never hear them talking about money and making money. It's all about truly helping people reach their health and fitness goals and what we can do better to help them along their journey. So I think that's pretty awesome in itself. And what's even better is that they've created an online support community and these challenge groups that we run to help our customers stay motivated and complete their health and fitness goals. And I just think that's awesome because, that is actually what helped me stay on track to reach my health and fitness goal. Did somebody else come on? No. Okay, I thought I heard somebody. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I wanted to share my story with you a little bit about, how I got started as a coach. And basically, to make a really long story short, I used to be overweight in school and when I grew up in high school, and I lost 50 pounds when I was a freshman in high school. And I managed to keep that weight off for 20 years by just going to the gym and like what I thought was eating healthy at the time. So then I got pregnant with my son. And I don't know what came over me, call it pregnancy, but I ate everything that I deprived myself of for the 20 years. McDonald's was a weekly staple. Like, it was awful. So needless to say, I gained those exact 50 pounds back. So I wasn't worried because everybody was telling me, including my doctor, everyone's like, oh, you're pregnant. It's okay. That weight will just come off, when after you have your son. My doctor said, especially if you breastfeed. Well, I breastfed and the weight didn't come off and they all lied. And it was awful. I hated the way I looked when, staring at myself in the mirror. I was wearing maternity clothes for way too long. And it just was really affecting me. Like, the way I felt about myself was affecting me as a mom and a wife. It was very irritable. It was just awful. So I decided to join a mom's club because I just was desperate to get out of my house with, as much as I love my son, it's really hard to be around a newborn all day long by yourself. So we joined the mom's club, and that's where I met my health and fitness coach. And I was telling her about how awful I was feeling, and she invited me to join her challenge group. And at the same time, number one, I never heard of a challenge group. And number two, I really wasn't all that familiar with Beachbody. And, she was telling me about the company and like what she does as a coach. And I was just really intrigued because she was a social worker just like myself. And, you know, because I, you know, stayed healthy and active, you know, and nutrition was very important to me, you know, for a good part of my life. Like, I was just always into weight loss stories and inspiring people and helping people. And I was just so intrigued that, and I've always wanted to become a personal trainer and nutritionist, and I just never did. So I asked her, I'm like, what is this, you know, coaching thing that you're doing? And it was like my dream came true. It was like everything that I wanted to do. But the problem is that I had 50 pounds left. I had 50 pounds to lose. But I'm like, you know what? Why not do this now? My initial goal was to just inspire people along my way, along my journey. And I never expected it to be what it is for me today. I feel like because I was a coach at the beginning of my weight loss journey, I felt like I was more relatable to people. I knew what they were going through and that they can trust me. And number two, I was proving that the products were working. So my whole journey, you know, mostly every single day I posted about it. And, you know, you know, and I even shared my bad days too. I mean, we're all human. Just because we're coaches, it doesn't mean that we don't have setbacks. So, and I'll be honest with you, if it was not for this challenge, the challenge groups, I would have given up 3 weeks into the challenge because I wasn't seeing results fast enough. I thought I chose T25 and, you know, obviously Shakeology. And I was like, well, maybe 25 minutes isn't enough for me. So 3 weeks into my journey, I posted my frustration into the group because, you know, the number on the scale wasn't moving fast enough for me. And the coach in the group, in very big letters, and I'll never forget it, she said, Shannon, step away from the scale. She said that the scale is not a good indicator of progress. And she told me not even to look at the scale. She promised me that my body was changing because I was doing everything that they were telling me to do, eating clean, exercising, drinking my shake. And she was right, because a week and a half later, I was due to take, I took my 30-day picture, and I saw a big difference from my day one picture. And, you know, that gave me the motivation to continue the rest of the 60 days. So if it wasn't for the challenge group and it wasn't for the support of my coach, I never would be where I am today. So that just goes to show like how powerful these challenge groups are and how awesome it is that we get to be a part of it. So that's my story. So if you are at the beginning or middle of your weight loss, you know, journey, don't like think that you can't come out and say that you're a Beachbody coach, because I can tell you 100% that you will inspire so many people by sharing your story. So that's my story. So in this training, I just want to express how important these 4 weeks are as far as, you know, this Coach Basics group, because it's so important that every single day that you check in and every single day that you try and complete these assignments, because we are giving you the foundation to grow as a successful Beachbody coach. It's just like any job. If you don't understand, you know, if you don't have like a training, you're not going to know how to do the job, basically. So I know it's a lot. I know that we all have lives and kids, and you know it's tough to fit everything in. But I beg you to please try and find an hour, set business hours. I will be talking about that next week. Set business hours for yourself. Give yourself at least an hour a day, and just to try and complete the assignments. Because I truly want you to succeed. So this week was all about back office stuff. We touched on the 3 vital behaviors, which is key, and I'll be going over those in a few minutes again. And then this coming week is basically going to be the bread and butter of this business. We are going to be teaching you, you know, how to come out as a Beachbody coach on social media. We're going to talk about inviting to these challenge groups. So it's going to be a very important week. So if you know, do as much as you can during the week, and then every weekend is catch up for you guys. So, but don't get too far behind, because I don't want you to be boggled down on the weekends with trying to get this work done. So just please try and somehow find a little bit of time every day to squeeze in the assignments. Oops. Excuse me 1 second. All right. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So Beachbody is a network marketing company. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we are made up of a bunch of uplines and downlines, and we depend on each other to succeed. So for you, if I'm your coach, I'm your upline coach, and then my upline coach is Kathleen Petula. If Nadine is your coach, she is your upline coach, and then her upline coach is Kathleen Petula. So the same with Terry and the same with Kara. And then Kathleen's upline coach is Alyssa Shoemaker. And Alyssa Shoemaker is, her upline is Melanie Mitro. Melanie Mitro is the #1 Beachbody coach, this year, actually 2014. So I got to tell you that we are so blessed to be a part of her downline, because she shares her awesomeness, and she every day, every week, tries to educate us as something that we can do to try and grow our business. So we are very, very blessed to be a part of her downline. So, as I mentioned, like we help each other succeed. So one day I know this probably sounds very far from now, but one day you're going to start creating your own downline, and your own coaches, and what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to create your own downlines one day. So we're all here to help each other succeed. That makes sense. Did I explain that right, guys? Okay. All right, let me go back. All right, so with that being said, when we decided to be a Beachbody coach, we are now our own boss. We should look at this as the creator. We are our own CEO of our company. So what does that mean? We have no alarm clocks. We have no commute. We have no bosses. We have the power over our own success. And the best part is our success comes from helping people. How awesome is that? And the potential for income is unlimited. We have such a good potential for financial freedom, and that is my goal. And there are also a lot of sweet perks, as far as like lots of free stuff if we reach our goals every month. There's bonuses, there's, free trips that we can earn. So, and also this company has such an emphasis on our own personal growth. So it's just really awesome. So, I know that when I got into this, I'm like, how am I going to sell a product? I am not a salesman whatsoever. And I can probably almost bet that the majority of coaches that come into doing this are not salesmen. We basically sell through sharing our own story on social media. And, like I had mentioned earlier, we run these challenge groups to help people reach their health and fitness goals. So we have the power to invite these people to get the daily support and the daily motivation and recipes and tips and, everything that we provide in these challenge groups. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, Beachbody has come up with these behaviors that they feel it's basically the recipe to our success. And the 3 vital behaviors are, something that we should be doing every day. And I want to review them quickly, because if we're doing these every day, it's going to eventually lead to our success. So the first vital behavior is invite, invite, invite. And actually, I heard Carl Deichler, one of the CEOs, on a call just recently, and he said that they named it wrong. It should not have been invite, invite, invite. It should have been connect, connect, connect. So not only does it mean inviting to challenge groups, but it means connecting with people, starting relationships, building trust, reaching out to people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Because building relationships is basically the foundation of growing a business. The second vital behavior is being a product of the product. Would you buy a car from someone who didn't know anything about the car, nor did they drive the car? You know, would you buy, you know, a skincare product from somebody who has terrible skin? Would you buy makeup from somebody, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, being a product of the product is so important because it is so important for us to show that these products are working. And it helps build trust in the products too. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And the last one is personal development. It's so important to try and do 10 minutes of personal development every day, because personal development has had such a huge impact on me in more ways than one, because I knew nothing about network marketing. I knew nothing about trying to help people, you know, I guess basically to get people to trust me to help them. And there was a couple of books that I found extremely helpful in the beginning that I highly recommend that you guys try and read. The first one is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, D-A-R-I-N Hardy, H-A-R-D-Y. He basically explains that this is not a get-rich-quick business. You start out slow, and then over time, it will get bigger. If you continue to do your daily vital behaviors every single day, you know, in time, you're gonna succeed. So it's, you know, read that book because it's awesome. Another one is called Start With Why by Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. Because you don't, and that book is, you don't want to sell products. You want to, because when you sell a product, you're going to come off as a salesman and just turn people off right away. I use the example, do you guys know anybody that's a Rodan & Fields representative? I feel like I have a million Facebook friends that sell Rodan & Fields, which is like a skincare. And every single time I read one of their posts, it was always a sales gimmick. You know, buy this product, it's on sale this month. You know, instead of saying, you know, I used to feel terrible about myself until I started these products, and you know, now that my skin is so much nicer, I feel beautiful, and it's, you know what I mean? Instead of sharing their story, they're selling a product. So now, because I see that it's all about the sale, I don't even look at those posts anymore. So if we show our passion, and if we show, you know, why we are doing this, and the fact, you know, that we are trying to help people, you're more likely to earn respect. And anyway, I learned this from the book Start With Why. You want to sell with your why and not as a sale. And the last, another book, well, it's also a DVD. It's called The Secret. I actually watched the DVD, but I know that there is a book. It's by Robin something. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't have it written down. Robin Boyle, I want to say. Does that sound right? Do you guys know Nadine or Terry or Kara? I want to, Robin Byrne, I believe it is. B-U-R-Y-N-E. Anyway, so this had the biggest impact on me. When I was a new coach, I got very discouraged very easily, and because I just felt like nobody wanted to buy anything off me. And anyway, so everything was always negative. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be a, you know, everything was negative. And The Secret just changed everything for me. It was actually life-changing for me. I changed my whole outlook on life after I watched that DVD. And you can actually get it really cheap off of Amazon. I think I only got mine for like $5. So and the last book I believe that I mentioned in the group is Go Pro. It's a book on network marketing, which I also found extremely helpful as well. And I know I'm going to mess this next part up, but I probably can explain a little bit of what I'm trying to say. But oh, Robin, B-Y-R-E-N-E. Right, I got a text message from Kara. Thank you. I don't know where it was. Where was I? What was I saying? Do you ladies know?
You just finished saying something about GoPro.
Yes. I'm going to explain this wrong, but basically they said, as I mentioned earlier, it's not a get-rich-quick business, but if you hang in there and if you do everything that we teach you to do in this group, within a year, you'll start seeing, and Nadine and Terry, if you know better than me, you will start seeing residual income. 2 years, I forgot what it is, but 3 years, it's so possible to earn, 6 figures. So I guess what I'm trying to say is trust the process. I know, as a new coach, I got discouraged a lot, but what I'm asking you is that if you do get discouraged, please talk to your upline coach, because if you can just get past the first few months of this, I'm telling you, things get easier and you will grow a successful Beachbody business. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I know, Terry, that there was something that you wanted to discuss, or if any of you wanted to add to anything that I said.
Yeah, that was great, Shannon. Awesome.
Thank you.
Now, the only thing I wanted to add is basically, I know sometimes when you get into these Coach Basics groups and all this information is like coming at you at once. And I know like each of you might be on a couple different team pages, whether it's Inspiration Nation or Nadine or Shannon or my team page. And then we're posting things, and then you're seeing like some of the stuff that you don't really need to know about right at this, current day and time. We just want to assure you to just try to almost put your blinders on to some of the things that might be like overwhelming you, because it can get overwhelming because there is a lot.
Yeah.
And really, if we could tell you to focus on one thing, it would be this Coach Basics group, even before anything else. And next week when we start talking about inviting and things like that, we're going to kind of give you a goal to just set your sights on inviting to the, are you doing a challenge on May 18th as well, Nadine? I know, Shannon, you are. Are you starting a challenge, Nadine, then, or
I'm
no?
starting one tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But if I have anyone for next week, I'll join in with you guys.
Yeah, okay. So basically, like, your focus should be just trying to, and if it's more comfortable for you to reach out to family and friends. I know that that's what I did when I started. I mean, I just, called up or messaged a bunch of my friends who I knew may want to do a challenge with me. And they were definitely all for it and gung-ho, and they kind of knew what I was doing and what I was starting out trying to do. And so they sort of helped me get started, and then they tell their friends and their friends tell their friends. And it kind of, just goes from there. But, start with where you feel comfortable. And then as you learn a little bit more about inviting and how to overcome obstacles, and what should you do if someone asks you about Shakeology when you don't know like the ingredient list of Shakeology and you're kind of freaking out about that. There are ways that different things that we will teach you on how to answer all of those questions and what you should do, and you'll learn as you go really as well. And I know for the three of us, there were times where we really did have to take time just kind of looking for things ourselves and looking in the group files. I tell the girls on my team, if you look in the files section of your team page for an Inspiration Nation, there's so many great resources just in there. And what I started to do when I began was just pulling things that I thought were helpful and putting them in like Google Doc folders just for me, because sometimes it was just like overwhelming how much stuff there is, things that were helpful to me. And then I could always go back and reference those things. So those are just a couple things that I wanted to throw out there, because I didn't want you all to get overwhelmed with what was starting now to seem like, this is such a great opportunity, and there's so much out there and so many resources and so much help from, all of us and in our, upline and everything, that you can never really go astray, but sometimes you can get a little overwhelmed. So those were my 2 cents. And again, our focus will just kind of be inviting to that challenge and getting comfortable with doing that. And then once you invite and you have a couple people to join a challenge, even if it's like 1 or 2, it's like your mom and your best friend, being in a group and sort of following like one of us as the leaders and being in it as a coach, to sort of help mentor and, comment. We won't necessarily make you post, unless you're comfortable doing that right off the bat, but, and kind of see what a challenge group looks like from the other end, not necessarily from a challenger, but from a coach, and, how you can help with that end of it. So we don't just throw you in, we ease you in, and it's fun. It's a fun ride. So that's all I had to say. Nadine, do you have anything to add, Shannon?
I was just going to say it's really awesome because, like, not only is it a fun ride, we get to meet such awesome people. Like, I never would have known any of you lovely ladies if it wasn't for this coaching experience. So, like, it just opens up a whole new world, like, of people, like, I don't know, just become close with. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I think just the one little thing, because you guys have covered so many great points already, but I think just one thing is just to kind of go a little bit off of what Terry was just saying, is just pick like 2 or 3 things to really focus on, because I know it's like we're throwing all of this stuff at you all at once, but it really is just sticking with the 3 vital behaviors and making those your priority. And then, once you have those done every day, then move on to do something else bigger or more, a bigger project or something that takes more time. But really just, making sure you're inviting and making sure you're doing your personal development and doing your workouts and sticking with your nutrition and stuff. And then, just from there, there's bigger things, like if you're planning on setting up a like page or, doing any of the other bigger things. So, and then just making sure you're on these calls, at least just once a week, getting on this call, and then also the team calls that we have, usually just a couple times a month. But it really makes a difference being able to connect with the other coaches. And I always get a tip or an idea or something that I can take and use in my business. I mean, I've been doing this a year and a half, but there's always something new or just a little tidbit that I can get and apply it. And then it's just so helpful to share and hear from other people.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. These team calls have been key for me, and I can't stress the importance. Like, I make them a priority to get onto me personally, just because of how much it does for me. Like, especially when I was a new coach and, trying to, start this new habit of incorporating, 3 vital behaviors into my life that I was never used to doing. And it's, it's hard at the beginning, finding the motivation sometimes. And I would get on these calls and I would hear Nadine and Terry saying, what they're doing. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing all that. And so it always pushed me, to do a little bit more. And, like Nadine said, just learning, I just learned so much from these calls. So this call is going to be, the Coach Basics call is going to be every Sunday at 9. And then I believe all of our team calls are on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those are the 2 calls that I feel like you guys should focus on, at first. Kara, is there anything that you wanted to add? I know that you're a newer coach too, so I didn't know if there was anything that you wanted to share.
I don't really have anything to add. I just wanted to kind of reiterate what everybody said, was getting on the call is really, really crucial and important. I admittedly, when I went through my basics, I missed 3 out of the 4 calls. And when I was on that final call, I was like, what? That's it? I wish that I had been able to make it on the first 3. So, and importantly, one of the things that I had asked you about, Shannon, was I was so concerned about coming on late. I didn't want to be late. Come on late. If you can't make it right at 9, come on late. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you saw me. And you don't have to. I think some people get nervous because they think they have to like speak or they have to look nice. But look at all of us.
Hey, what are you trying to say? No, I'm kidding.
Most of the time, we're in our PJs and hair's up in a ponytail, and nobody cares. And really, there's no pressure to say a word if you don't want. I know there was one time where one of my coaches, she didn't realize that she would be seen on a Zoom call. And when I said to her, hey, how's it going? She was like, you can see me? But really, like, there's no pressure. There's no pressure to talk. We will have, the one thing that is great about these calls is there's always an opportunity for question and answer at the end. And especially in Coach Basics, there's so many questions that people have. And usually a question that you ask is a question that somebody else has burning in their head, but they may be too afraid to ask. No question is a dumb question. So once that question comes out and we all start talking, then it leads to another question. So that's why I think these calls are so great. It's because, I mean, we can just kind of talk and not have to like message everybody.
You want to hear something funny? You guys probably don't remember this, but when I was new and I started getting on the calls, I don't know if you remember, but I used to call in all the time. I never was face to face for a long time, and it was because I was nervous. I didn't want you guys. I didn't know who you guys were, and I didn't want you to see me, And then I think after like the first month, I don't know, I have a hard time with change, I think. And so once I realized what it was, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do it.
Well, that's another option too, that I don't think people realize. And sometimes I have to do this because I have to multitask. And I can't be carrying my computer around, but you can call in and you can put yourself on mute, and just listen to everything. And even that alone is better than trying to read, something in Coach Basics all week long. So there are definitely options. If you don't want to be seen, you can call in for sure. Or if you're scared, there's nothing to be scared of though. We're harmless.
Yes.
Right. And we are not experts either. We are all learning. And usually we learn something new every time we have a call because somebody asks a question and we wonder and ponder and put our heads together and try to answer it. So yeah, we are here to help.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
Okay.
Do you ladies have anything else that you would like to add? All right. So this upcoming week is just so important. So please, I ask of you, maybe I should discuss business hours. So I think it's so vital that you guys set time every single day for this business, because like when I first started as a coach, I did not do that, and I was a new mom, so like I would try and do things here and I'd try and do things there, and it was really hard on me. Number one. Number two, I really wasn't focused, and number three, I just felt like I can't say the word neglecting, but I felt like I wasn't spending as much time with my son because I was just so addicted in trying to build this Beachbody business. So like I was just very all over the place. And I used to hear like Top Coach saying all the time, set business hours. And, I think for me, it just takes a few times for me to hear something for it to actually click. And I was like, you know what? You're exactly right. So I set business hours every day because that is the time for me to focus on doing my work. And I highly suggest that you guys do that. Start trying to create that habit now, especially for this Coach Basics, so you can actually sit down and focus on the task at hand. Like for example, my business hours start in the morning before my son wakes up. I try and take a few minutes to post in the challenge groups that I'm assigned to post in, during the week. And, if I have a minute to check into my challenge groups. And then when my son takes a nap, I have from 1 to 3. And I invite, I do the majority of my work then. And then at 9 o'clock at night, I get on whatever call it is during the, on that particular day. And then I have the rest of the night to check into my challenge groups and do whatever I need to do. So my business has grown so much since I actually set those business hours. So if that helps to find the time, to set those for yourself, whether it's an hour or whatever, just to try and get this done. This week, may be a little overwhelming. You have the weekend, but next week is better. Next week is easier. But this week, I guess the reason why it's a lot is because there's just so much important and key stuff this week. So please just try and stay focused. You guys can do this. And I'm so excited about this group of coaches that we have. All the videos, I think, were awesome. You guys are all naturals. You did a lot better than I did when I made my first video. So kudos to you for doing that. So that is all I have to say. Anything else?
Thanks. That was awesome.
All right, great. So you all have a wonderful evening, and I hope you guys enjoyed your Mother's Day, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.